They say that when I shatter the glass ceiling above me, the whole world will be my enemy. So if my life is to be a song of infamy, I pray that when they cut me open, my rebellion bleed a symphony, simply to say that's the price you pay to be great. You versus everybody. So I ain't got no problem with you treating this like it's a hobby. But if you think you finna seize the throne without bleeding first over my dead body, and I ain't here to catch a body, but in my field, I feel like I can body anybody. I'm not cocky, but I know the 10,000 plus I put in, a couple thousand pins. I bled for the ink, scarred skin. I'm hard then, no James. Step back or attack the rim, first to last out the gym. You on 10, dropping dimes, fine. I drop gems, some food for thought on top of the bar. See, everybody want to be a GOAT till they realize how hungry the lions are on me. I don't care to be a star. I just want to transform the art form. My emotions want to platform to start on Instagrams and TikToks, but we grew up watching real gangsters sling grams and rocks on the block with a Glock on the hems and hands, and now they out here on the reels, quoting Pac saying, oh, I ain't a killer, yeah, you a con man. Just wondering if you can pull the trigger while I know I can, and at this level, anything less than live is casualty, killing mics casually, so naturally we abide the page. Every step on stage is war waged. When I say I'll work everybody, I ain't just talking about me, I'm daring everybody. They say they sick of the nonsense, I'll be the antibody acquainted with the illest, born to break the illness of mediocrity in me. I'm a hard pill to swallow, hard act to follow, high caliber logic, tips more slug shot than hollow, piss in the armor. You gotta come strong than I, cause we spraying and still got the hits coming in bunches. So if you thought I was Tyson on the mic before, just wait till I stop pulling punches. Lights go up and we all find out, are you 10 toes down or down for the 10 count when the subs unplug and the track runs out? Either you got the gift of gab or you good at running your mouth. We inhale down, exhale stars, chew up the mic and spit out the bars. Ain't this what the people came here for? Or you got bangers because they break down walls, because they'll twerk all night till life knocks on the door and smoke so much till the blood burns up, then would roll up another J. Numb your life away, but that can't be me. Too much at stake. Daily we break to rebuild. I do this to be great. You do this to chill. You write a hook to bait. I write a hook to heal, because there's too many dreams in the grave and too many bodies on the way. I gave up the right to be plain, and I sound insane for the sake of flatlining hearts and dead brains. I want influence, not fame. Use the beat as a pulse, put a ghost back in those bones, make them dance, make them stand. So when they see how the 10,000 fell at their right hand, they'll jump around in the name of life, not for the gram. 2-step because they got a second chance. Hope was always a plan, and this pen the course. God is my guide. I watch pride shrivel up and die. Now the humility rise. I can't co-sign the nonsense of false prophets. We say art is life, so the people know there's another option, because propaganda got this world in fractions. This deeper than social media caption or a viral video reaction. That's why I'm one part excellent, one part passion, cold, pressing the precious stone, because you can't conquer this art with talent alone. Nah, you gotta have some grit. So I ain't gotta be the best in the room, but if the shoe fits, who coming for me? Who gonna outwork me? Send me everybody. It's good to see y'all. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? All right, so I want to point this set in a direction. Can I do that? So the direction I want to point the set in, disclaimer, this set is for everybody, but in particular, it's for poets. In particular, but it's for everybody, but it's especially for poets. Man, how many poets we got in the room? Make some noise. All right, we full up in here. Poets, did you know that you're important, that you're vital, that you're necessary? So and I know we're all at varying levels in the room, right? We're all at varying experiences. And I think it's okay if you want to do this just to pass the time. But if you want to do this and be serious about it, it's levels to it. There are 2 levels of mastery. There's the mastery where you are able to do the 10,000 hours. And then there's the grand mastery when you do past the 10,000 hours, because you realize something, you always have to grow. It was Nina Simone who said, it is an artist's responsibility to interpret the times. I would further that and say it's also an artist's responsibility to impact the times. Anybody here familiar with the civil rights movement? Did you know that the majority of our civil rights leaders were poets? James Baldwin, poet. Toni Morris, poet. Maya Angelou, poet. Langston Hughes, poet. So your responsibility is not just to this microphone. Your responsibility is to the world. There's a purpose for you. I was listening to the speaker one time. Her name is Jade Simmons, and Jade spoke something profound. She said that purpose is not the thing that you do. Your purpose is the thing that happens in other people when you do what you do. And I remember shattering my hands once, trying to wrestle with a purpose that demanded all of me, but still it belonged to me. So I had to prepare myself for the cost. Scripture says that your gifts will make room for you and put you before great men. My prayer is that I would become a great man that can make room for other people. First, I must become great. But nothing as simple as a sculpture, a statue. See, I want to stand stellar in my stature, be stoic when the storms get scary, and if necessary, a symbol. But how does one become monumental? When the mountains in front of you create moments to make you motionless. In other words, opposition is imminent no matter how intimate with destiny you think you are. See, your adversary's intention is not merely to become a thorn in your side. Nah, they want to make sure them dreams die. Make dry that well of greatness, and they'll be patient. Wait till all the reservoirs been drawn, then dawn a drought like let's see how long you gonna last when ain't no water in your glass, when all you have are tears, fears, and a bucket full of dust and failures, when your plans are flaming the world with hope, go from bursting at the seams to rusted pipe dreams, and you gotta decide if you still believe that one day the rain's gonna come, if you're gonna keep hanging on, even when the world tries to hang you. Say that there ain't no place for someone like you here. Say that those are really good dreams you have. Be ashamed if nobody cared about them. Say, are you even qualified for that vision? Like, who gave you permission to believe that you could change anything? Do you think yourself a divine being, a grand thing? You got God dreams, but no one knows your name. Less than 1,000 followers on the gram, no blue check, no fame, and you claim to be great just because your heart's in the right place? Because of all the love you've shown? And see, now all the dollars want to know is, what do you hope to gain from love alone? But see, that's the problem with the world, always shooting from the hip. They aiming down the sights all wrong. They see you as bullseye, so they make tactics for targets. They expert marksman, but miss the market where your heart is. See, to them, you're a consumer, but to me, you're a human. To them, you're a number, but to me, you're a soul. So what's the price? And what do I got to do to create something beautiful for you? Because of given the opportunity, I believe you do the same thing too, because I know this world will see you for what you are, and they'll judge you for what you are not, try to stop you from growing into what you can become. And the question is, why would you be afraid of becoming something great? The right to greatness is not something you happen to stumble upon. The right to be great is simply something you were born with. So what if I told you that greatness is your birthright? What if I told you that you were always meant to succeed, but at every level, success comes with a fee? And I ain't talking the price of higher educations or degrees. Nah, it's gonna cost you some blood and teeth. When Adesanya said, you can't beat me, I'm prepared to die. I prepared my heart for that price, because anyone who's ever been great knows that it comes with a sacrifice, and I must succeed, not for the sake of me, but for the sake of the seeds I planted in kings and queens who question their beings, who broke their hands, holding on to dreams bigger than themselves. So don't quit, don't bury the tools God trusted you with. So what if 1 million people never scream your name? The blood you shed for the sake of a soul is never in vain. You're worth more than a couple clicks and hearts. Your purpose can be the key to unlocking the chains holding someone's heart, because doubt can make a prison out of passion tame. The flame can either destroy or refine, but even if the dimes don't shine like you want them to, it doesn't change your value. See, there's a sea of broken hearts waiting by the shore, and unless they know how to soar or surf, they'll never find a way to navigate the waves. And I have no wings, which means I gotta learn how to swim. Broken hands or not, I don't wanna be great for the sake of me. The goal isn't to be impressive, it's to make an impression, to imprint something on your heart, something that's gonna give you hope. Because if I can teach you hope, then you can show the world why they were wrong. That greatness is not status in TV screens. It's clearing the static until those pipe dreams turn reality. Can you see the picture clearly now? So I was searching for this picture right about now. I think when we talk about purpose and we talk about moving and operating in our purpose, I know what it looks like to be intimidated by how much power you have. I know what it looks like to be intimidated by how much power you possess, because it's a lot of responsibility, right? Now, if you're like me, right? So listen, I like, we always talk about giving people their flowers while they're still here, right? Now, me, I think I'm really good at giving out flowers, but I'm not so good at receiving them myself. Like, my friends always tell me that I'm horrible at accepting compliments, and I admit I do have a habit of getting one and trying to return one back as soon as possible. So maybe a little bit of truth to that. Example, a dude walks up to me, he says, "Hey, bro, you dope." My response, "Nah, fam, you dope." Another artist comes up to me after the show, he says, "Hey, bro, you killed it tonight. It was the best performance." My response, "Man, bro, I'm trying to get like you when I grow up." Now, in my defense, his set was actually really, really dope. A friend calls me one night and she says, brother, you are amazing. And I'm so thankful God placed you in my life. And I wrestle with the idea of being considered amazing. It's not that I don't know how to accept compliments. It's just that I never really know what to do with them. For someone to lavish an affirmation upon another is for them to bestow high value on a person without their consent. You know, compliments, they always seem too heavy to hold on to. And honestly, most of the time, I don't feel strong enough to carry the weight. A woman comes up to me after a show and she's in tears and she begins telling me about her son and how he's going down a path that will one day kill him. And she told me that she was going to let him listen to one of the poems that I performed because she believed that it could bring him back from the brink. And I don't know how to handle that, because what if it fails? What if my punchline ain't lifeline enough to pull him from the depths, or life raft enough to keep him afloat? What if he doesn't want to walk in the shallows but drown in the shadows? What if darkness has cradled him into submission and I don't have enough light to wake him up? What if they ain't enough lightning in these lyrics to shock him back to life? You place a heartbeat in my hands and I don't know if I can keep it beating. I don't know if I can stop the bleeding, but you tell me that you're willing to give it a chance because these words gave you hope. Do you know what affirmations like that do to people like me? They make us believe that we can carry the world on our backs. But I learned a long time ago that I am not God. So how do you handle that kind of responsibility when someone tells me that one of my poems saved their life? I breathe in relief and exhale anxiety because I was able to hit the mark this time. But what if I miss the next one? Like, what if I don't do the right piece or say the right thing? And I know all the responsibility ain't on me, but I know the consequence of treating this platform like a hobby. That's why I pray before every performance, why I fast before I touch any stage, why I build every piece of art like armor, because someone might need to wear these words like courage, and I don't want any blemishes, no breaks, no cracks, because it's not good enough to just be dope. It's not good enough to just be great, to just be a beast on the mic. I'm trying to save somebody's life, because imagine being the best in the room and still not being good enough. Imagine accepting praise from hundreds of people, but still not reaching the one person you needed to. I don't care how dope the poem was. I just want to know if it meant something to you. Is it helping you? Because there are those who come just to be entertained. And yo, that's fine. It's okay. I get it. And there's a place for it. But there are those who come because they are falling and they need to be caught before the ground becomes their bed, before the dirt touches them in the soil, rocks them to sleep. See, I know what it's like to be one word away from the burial. But I also know what it's like to be one word away from the revival. I know the difference between a graveyard and a garden. So I'm sorry. No, I don't know how to take compliments that well, because I don't know how well I can keep living up to them. And the truth is, I'm afraid to let you down. But it's the same reason I respect them so much. It's why I never take them for granted, no matter if I hear it from 5 or 5,000. I'll roar as if the whole world is standing at attention, because even though I know I can't reach everyone, I can at least reach one. Someone asked me once, hey, what are you creating today? I say, something that's going to save the world, or at least something that's going to save somebody's life. Because if I've helped save one life, then I've helped save one world, and aren't we all our own little worlds? And every conversation can either be collaboration or conflict. Every word can either build up or break down. Everyone is an atmosphere, and you can be a rainy day or a sunny one. You can be the weeping night or the joyful morning. Just look at how words from different worlds made me believe that, like Maya, I too could be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. So I can't promise that I'll be able to save everyone with these words, but I will use your affirmations as ammunition. Make hope a hand grenade, and I'll go to war in the name of life for as long as God keeps me in the fight. But you know, right about now, it's not always that simple when you're a poet, when you're an artist, because now that you've experienced the weight and felt the weight, There's a certain demonic thing that happens, and these little voices in the back of our head remind us of our past. They remind us of the places we've fallen short. They remind us that, man, you know, you were trash yesterday. What happened? Aren't you still trash today? We call them traumas, and those traumas are triggered. And it's hard to open up a lot of times because we don't want our traumas to be triggered. We don't want those things in the past to rear their ugly heads, right? So I have this weird issue with trusting people. I mean, I don't actually trust most people. Life taught me a long time ago that every situation has, let's say, poisonous potential. I mean, what I'm trying to say is I've been bitten by more snakes than I've crushed, and I'm still trying to get the venom out of my system. That's why instead of healing, I hallucinate whenever possibility comes my way. And in my heart, I know, hey, man, everybody ain't out to get you. And when people sit and tell me things like, man, I really love to know your story, most of the time, I think it's genuine. And sometimes I wish I could trick my mind into thinking, wow, they really do care to know me. But unfortunately, most of the time, the prevailing thought is, why? So you can weaponize my trauma, mold my memories into Molotovs, blaze a blasphemy in my spirit like I ain't already made my bed in hell, like my belly ain't full of napalm, like the inside of my chest ain't scorched by the lies I tell myself every day. Nah, see, that's how fires start whenever you try to spark a conversation with a gas leak, and I done already spilled my guts through windpipes and mics. Yeah, there were days I tried not to let the emotion explode from behind my teeth. I tried to talk to someone hoping to diffuse the pipe bomb in my lung. They say that life and death is in the tongue. I tried to build a bond, build a link, build a connection, but mankind always seems to burn more bridges than they build. And I know I should try to see something more humane under all that skin. I like to believe that behind all the sin, people sincerely love me, that they want to see past the trauma and triggers, that they want to see me happy, full and whole. But humanity has an intimate history with triggers. Sometimes they only want to see a body full of holes, and I've seen too many people hold secrets in their back pocket like loose bullets. So tell me, who the hell you aiming that gun at? Don't you know I gotta live with me? And in some morbid way, you pulling the trigger is a type of mercy. Don't you think I know that death walked me, that death starving, famished, that depression and cooked up better men than me, served their souls to the stars and their bodies to the dirt, and you want me to unearth the root of my pain? You know, maybe that's why the idea of intimacy scares me, because when my girl be asking me, baby, I wish you would open up to me more, I'd be like, baby, I can't. Whatever you're walking through, we can walk through it together, baby. I can't. You don't have to bear all that weight alone, baby. I can't. Why are you hiding from me? Why do you keep running, baby? I can't. And see, that's the problem with me. I still believe that the skeletons in my closet are still worth wearing. But why dress in dead things that don't fit you anymore? Don't I know that ain't me anymore? Don't you know that you better than that? That reflecting on the past ain't the same as walking back. And so what if they attack? If the devil himself couldn't snuff you out, they ain't got a chance in hell. And maybe it's possible that somebody else needs to hear your story so that they can know that it's possible to walk through theirs. So if someone would have asked me today, hey man, I really love to know your story. Okay, breathe, come sit with me. Traumas don't necessarily have to be something that you've done or something, evil or wrong that you've done. Sometimes a trauma can be an experience that was out of your control. Sometimes a trauma could manifest itself in abuse. It could manifest itself in, self-harm. It can manifest itself in the loss of a loved one. And artists, I think we understand this better than most people, that as hard as it is to do this, sometimes you must allow yourself to break, because there's a lot of pressure that needs to come out. And the beautiful thing about something that's broken is that it can always be rebuilt. Like when a bone breaks itself, and it has to mend itself back to the other part of the bone, and the bone grows back stronger. So sometimes the breaking is necessary. I broke my voice yesterday when I called out your name. My eyes, stained glass windows, shattered, discolored, and I hate crying in public because people treat my arms like a cathedral. They find sanctuary next to my pulse. I'm supposed to be a safe place to weep. But last night, my heart was not a haven, more like a drowning altar, and the thought of you forced my emotions into a tsunami. My body curled itself into submission, and no matter how much I tried to mend my mind, these eyes kept falling apart, and I sobbed for you all night. But Mama, what's a boy supposed to do when his Mother Earth goes back to the earth, and I ain't got enough God in me to reach into the soil to shape you back? Breathe into you all the love you breathe into me. Mold all the lessons you taught me back into your frame. This dirt is such a damning place. I don't even know how blessed it is to have you, how holy of the spirit you are. I can't leave flowers by the graveside anymore. I got tired of seeing them dead the month after. I can't sit by the graveside anymore. I got tired of pretending like me and the Reaper were on speaking terms. I can't drive by the graveside anymore because it reminds me of how death drove by your lungs, left your shell hollow and left holes in my smile. My joy is a chalk outline. I tried to revive it back, but it keeps fighting to stay buried. It won't let go of the clay because it's still doing its best to negotiate a trade with the earth, but there's nothing I have with the value equal to you. So my joy won't leave the place it felt closest to home. Mama, it's been years and I still don't feel at home. Can't tell you how many times I wanted God to take me home, to let that same earth swallow me whole, because I ain't been whole since they put you in one. So when he let me dream of you last night, I didn't want to wake up. And yet still, my soul rose like the marigolds I would leave by your headstone. And I unearthed myself from those sheets with a broken voice, shattering eyes, but also a crooked smile. Because as hard as it was blossoming out of my bed, at least your son got to see your soul just as I remembered it, your skin radiant, your smile luminous, and your arms a cathedral. Mama, I lay my head on your chest and your pulse sounded like a sanctuary, like the same temple that lives in me, as if to say my life sings of you. So though these tears taste bitter, they make the melody in my chest all the more sweet. So now I embrace every teardrop like a heartbeat, Mama. Mama, of you, all I have are memories. But those are the same memories that kept me breathing last night. Okay, I think this would be a good time in the set to breathe. We okay? We good? Here, because, you know, if y'all like me, it's hot and chocolate melt in the heat. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to, I'm trying to stay home. Vanilla melts in the heat too, white people. Cinnamon melts too. Sugar also melts. Am I missing any other pigments? Caramel be melting. Caramel be melting. So yeah, man, I never want to end. Like, so I got a couple more pieces left. And these are all requested pieces. So people ask for these. So that's how I'm going to finish out tonight. For the record, guys, it's Red Lion Poetry across every platform if you ever want to follow. And if you want to sow a seed, you know what I'm saying? It's also Red Lion Poetry across the Cash App and the Venmo and all the other places that, you know what I'm saying, you want to pay digitally. I made it really simple because some people like to, and this is no knock, man, some people like to put numbers and underscores and everything. And I'm old, you know what I'm saying? It's different for me. But I'm going to be as brisk as I possibly can because I know y'all hot like me. Oh, love you, Sharika. You're so great. Before I finish, so I want to, man, shout out to Right About Now. Thank you guys so much. For allowing me to be here. Zach, Sharika, DJ Bloom, Amir. I know Amir's out of town somewhere. Thank you so much, Amir. I appreciate you, Pa. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna do this one really gross poem that I don't do often, but since people ask me to do it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Question: any married people in the place? Okay, all right, married people. Okay, some of y'all didn't sound really sure about that married. Somebody said divorce, and I was like, okay, all right, you fit into another category. If you're in a relationship, make some noise. Okay, in a relationship, y'all with me. All right, okay, we running this thing together. Single people, make some noise. Oh, look at y'all, no obligations. Y'all get to go to Whataburger after this, man. Y'all, all right, that used to be me, y'all. That used to be. That's funny. Oh my God. I wanted to tell her that I found my spine in her smile, that my chest turns into a ballroom every time my eyes lock in my heart just dances, my body wishes it could. I wanted to tell her that I found music in her skin, and every time we touch, we compose symphonies, how every kiss is a good song to me. I wanted to tell her how jealous I get of every dress that hugs the curves of her body, because that's where I'm supposed to be. More suitable than any suit, hemmed and tailor-made to fit every part of her. But I must say, she really know how to make that dress look good. So imagine this bride-to-be, her and me, parallel hearts in perfect symmetry, yet still lost in our mystery. But that didn't matter to me as long as I was lost in her. The sheep said, baby, I'm afraid to fall for you, because a ring and a groom seem too good to be true. And I told her that a bud doesn't blossom overnight, so I'll be a sunrise. Show up every morning until something blooms. But she didn't care much for flowers or poetry, only the harmony of hearts, duets over solos, no BGVs, just her and me. She said, baby, swimming in this ocean deep, you'll end up sinking into the sea. Are you willing to drown for me? Willing to brave the tidal waves that this storm brings? But she doesn't know that my love is a holy ground, an anointed ark of sorts. So even if the storm swallows me whole, this sea won't make an Atlantis out of me, because you can't Titanic a heart that can walk on water. And if you still want a home, then we can plant a garden right here, a place where you can rest your roots, and I will endure every prick and thorn born from this ground, because love ain't always easy to hold on to it, and we all come with our own scars. But even though I can't unpack all the wounds you carry, I can show you all the scars that I've tried to bury, all the pain that tried to bury me. And if loving you means some mornings I must wake to a war zone, to just know that I know what it is to bleed for something worth dying for. If loving you means walking through your mood swings like mine feels, then I'll be a dead man walking. If loving you means staring down the barrel of past failures and falls, then I'll be target practice so you can be bulletproof. And on days when you hate me for no reason, I'll still fight for you. When you neglect the garden we planted, I'll make sure the soil welcomes you back every time. Your roots will still fit here. And I know you ain't used to consistency, but you can be if you get used to me. What I'm trying to say is, there aren't many things I've ever wanted more than you. And I know you're not used to being valued. I know you're still holding on to broken promises you couldn't accept. But I'm trying to hold you like a promise kept. I'm trying to hold you like a wedding ring holds a vow, because for once, I want you to know what forever feels like. Okay, that was really gross. That was disgusting. Ill, love, ill. I'm joking. So yeah, that was the first one. The next one, oh man. So this one is really special to me. Any bilingual people in the room? All right. So listen, my Spanish is horrible, so don't crucify me for this. And my mouth is dry, so it's kind of hard, man. You got me? Oh my God! When did you get this? Oh, see, that's why you. I was pushing through, man. It was tough for a second. Perdóname. Desearía poder hablar tu lenguaje. Forgive me. I wish I could speak your language more fluidly with the same passion that you do. I wish the cadence of my voice could crescendo the hymns and folktales of your culture enough to sing about the beauty of your people, because even though we don't look alike, I too know what it's like to be seen as a monster before something magnificent, espantoso antes de ser hermoso, and to be seen as a villain before a civilian. We all looking for heroes, something to believe in, but they be thieving our hope. We all know what it's like to hang from rope while they raise us like flags and display us like trophies to celebrate diversity, while at the same time plagiarizing and perverting the culture, all in the name of a system that loves everything about you but just doesn't love you. Now, their language ain't familiar to me, but pain is bilingual. Y todos sangramos rojo. And to ignore each other's pain is to keep ourselves separated. And don't you know that separation fuels injustice? Don't you know that dreamers dream of the land of opportunity because prosperity has been painted in the form of stripes and stars so they all reach high? You know, sueño americano. I wonder what an American dream looks like to an immigrant. I wonder if this melting pot of a nation will make as much room for them as it pretends to. And yo, before you take that the wrong way, yeah, love my country, yeah, no other place I'd rather be, yeah, laws should be followed, but I'm reminded that slavery was once an unjust yet legal thing, which is to say truth is subjective until proven absolute, which is to say that no law, policy, or system is permanently set in stone. And as we mess up as a country somewhere along the way, we got to own up to those mistakes. Blood and tears till the soil and freedom born out of our ancestors' sacrifice. So why are we still bleeding and crying? Are we still building? Are we holding on to a wall we should have let go of a long time ago? Are we still tilling the ground? Are we putting pulses in the dirt, making martyrs out of sons and daughters? Escucha el grito de la gente. Please forgive my broken Spanish, but I'm just a brown boy trying to understand another brown boy's pain, because we both know what it's like to be a pariah, more outcast and accepted, more statistic than truth. This ain't no open border discussion. Yeah, we should know who sits behind the gates. We should take 25 plus years of back and forth to be knighted as citizen while be treated like public enemy. No, not an open border, but an open heart, because when you strip morality away from the politics, you build up walls based off of insecurities, and instead of a key, your policies turn into a cage. Can you hear those birds sing? Have you ever seen one fall down on hard times? And when the dimes don't add up, they can't pay to stay. Yo, land of the free but can't afford the next day. Mi corazón duele. Do you know how many people died crossing the Rio last year? How many children tried to wade the waters, but they got blood stuck in their lungs? And I begin to wonder how much faith or fear you gotta have to walk on water that won't sit still. Some people would kill to be here, even if they gotta kill themselves. Between the sex traffickers and cartel, what kind of hell they living in? And listen, I ain't saying it just let anybody in, but we should consider the ones we call villains. Tell me, when you see those brown children stripped away from their parents, ripped with their heart ripping at the seams, do you see criminal or victim? If it be the latter, revise the system, reverse the roles. Those are our children. Dios bendiga a los niños. And God, forgive us for turning this language into a border, for turning these reflections into mirages. I'm reminded of when Israel fled Egypt to get to their promised land. I'm reminded that America is not a promised land, but a punished one. And we all wave a wounded flag in the wind, and it seems like we don't want to be healed. But one day I have faith that we will. So to my family across the river, Dios sea contigo, vaya con Dios. One day this place will be easy for you to live in. One day the place from which you are trying to escape will change. And no matter how ugly the world tries to paint you, todos ustedes son hermosos. And one day I'll get better at speaking this language of yours. Lo prometo, I promise. What? Love you too.
He said he was working on it, friend.
I'm sorry. 60 seconds. Underrated, underestimated, underappreciated. We water under the bridge to the rains, then we elevate it. They say through tears the best art is created. The world steady weeping, so we hella saturated. Frustrated, still dedicated, so every step be premeditated. Pirouette to step ball change, to kick off the balls and chains. Arts be both sledgehammer and key. War cry and melody, no matter the melanin or the pedigree. We all got a puzzle piece with a paintbrush, a pencil, angelic voice, a stencil, the line to shout, the quiet mom, the rap song, the dope bass line. They say that you can only find superheroes in comic books. Now imagine if you never knew how Superman looked, to manifest thought to reality, to paint the world as it is, or chisel it how it should be. We are both chronicle and history maker, sky dancer, earth shaker, the sound of revolution, the voice of rebellion, the soundtrack at the wedding, the heartbeats anthem. You untag the concrete, and we tattoo them streets again. It's a war of words for this nation, but all my shooters got pins. Long live the creator, still touching every heart. Long live the gifts of God, and long live the arts. Right about now, thank you so much. I appreciate you.